It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Driving on the highway, going to a show. Stopping on the byway, playing rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, getting a bone, getting high, getting shook. I'll show you folks, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. Ladies in the new one-night stands, try playing a rock and roll band. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Caden Reif, and welcome back to another installment of the 2007 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series. We are here from Talladega. It's race number 29 of 36 of this season, as championship crunch time continues in the final wild card of this season. It's a 2.66-mile super speedway for our final plate track race of this season, as we take you to the racetrack brimming with excitement for the final plate race this season, 4th of 4. Starting on pole today, it's a great start for Tony Stewart. Second in the championship, trying to chase down that 81 of DJ Kennington as he grabs the 5 bonus points from pole, and will start from first place today as Scott Riggs in the 57 car is directly to his outside on that front row. Third place is going to be Kevin Harvick in the 20, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 4th, Elliott Sadler is going to start in 5th place, and Jason Leffler qualifies in 6th. Jeff Gordon starts from P7 in the 24, last week's winner. Robbie Gordon will be in the 8th position. John Andretti in 9th, and Casey Kane rounds out the top 10. Casey Atwood will be 11th in the 30. Casey Mears in P number 12. Juan Pablo Montoya is in 13th. And there's your points leader, DJ Kennington, in the 14th position in the 81 car. Ryan Newman starts from 15th place, and Kurt Busch will be in the 16th position. JJ Yaley is in P17, with 18th going to Jamie McMurray's number 40. Jimmy Johnson will be in 19th place, Greg Biffle in 20th. Scott Wimmer starts 21st, and Martin Truex Jr. will be in 22nd place. Ricky Hendrick, P23, with Kyle Busch in the 24th spot. Bobby Labonte will be P25, and Bobby East in the 60 car this week. He's 26th. Todd Bodine, 27th, and Brad Keselowski in 28th. 29th place is going to go to Morgan Shepherd. Clint Boyer will start in 30th. Matt Kenseth, P31, and Jeremy Mayfield in 32nd. Jeff Burton will be P33, and Carl Edwards in the 34th spot. Eric Norris will be P35, and David Rudiman in the 07 car this week. He will be in the 36th position. Marcos Ambrose in the 13 and 37th, and Jeffrey Bodine in the 7. He'll be 38th. TJ Bell, 39th. Todd Cleaver will be in 40th. Rounding out the field in the back row, Ron Hornaday Jr.'s number 1 car, and Boris Said in the 06 this week is 42nd to round out your 42 car field. 57 lapper here from Talladega. It's Stewart and Riggs on the front row as we take you to the racetrack for the most famous words in motorsports, the command here from the EA Sports 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field screams to life as we get set to go here from Talladega, race number 29 of 36, as this final 10 race stretch here in the 2007 season continues as our championship fight amps itself up. Tony Stewart, the pole sitter, second in the championship this week, has been pretty much all season long, to DJ Kennington in the 81 car, who is a little bit further back. He is 97 points behind the Gibbs 81 going into today's race. Good start for Stewart, puts him now just 92 back, thanks to the 5 points from pole as we get set to start. Stewart had a bit of a rough race on the Sunday race, the Sunday episode of the Michigan doubleheader last weekend, as he ended up falling behind Kennington despite the damage to the 81 car from the lead. Kennington recovered to a fairly solid finish. Stewart really ran out of pace in the second half of that race, finished just barely in the top 20. I believe he was exactly 20th that week. So Stewart in a bit of a back foot after thinking he could gain a lot of points on Kennington with the damage to that 81 car. That pace that he had early in that race kind of just disappeared on him, so he fell back in the standings. Third place in the championship is still a fair amount of ways out, but Jeff Gordon, third in the standings in the 24 car, not technically out of it yet. He's near about 2 races out of this championship hunt, just over 300 points out. It is a 307 point gap to the championship leader for the 24 of Gordon. But if these two keep beating up on each other, they've had a couple of rough weeks recently. That 24 could find a way to sneak his way into this thing. And this is a racetrack where exactly that could happen. Of course, Talladega, chaotic racing facility, plate racing at its finest. Going to see a lot of aggressive moves, a lot of people going 3 and 4 wide. This is somewhere where you can make something happen. And if Stewart and Kennington find themselves mired in trouble, could be a prime opportunity for that 24 of Jeff Gordon to make up some points in this 2007 championship. He's not quite out of it yet. Further on back in the top 5 in points, Robbie Gordon sits in 4th, 588 out, and 603 out is the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. That's your championship rundown coming into this week at Talladega. It's 57 laps here from the EA Sports 500 as Stewart and Scott Riggs lead the field to the green here from Talladega, and we are waiting for the flag, and now underway here from Talladega as we get to racing here from the biggest racetrack on the calendar. Down out of turn 4 and up to speed now as Kevin Harvick in the 20 continues the trend at these plate races of stealing the lead early from the pole sitter. Stewart does not lead the opening lap. It belongs to the 20 of Kevin Harvick, who leads the field now through turns 1 and 2. Everybody up to speed. You see the top 5 get single filed out now as the field gets set in for the long haul here at Talladega. First move, Jeff Gordon in the 24, going to get aggressive early on here. Goes underneath of the Saturday race winner at Michigan. His fellow race winner at Michigan over that doubleheader, Elliott Sadler in the 83, trying to take away second. Fellow Chevrolet Casey Atwood with him. And for Jeff Gordon, we got a chance to catch up with the driver of the DuPont 24 as he goes for the race lead. about this championship hunt and the fact that he is still technically in it. He said, "I'm not really thinking about the championship at this point. It's such a far-fetched option, and if we find ourselves in it, that's great. But really just want to focus on winning races and concluding what we feel like has been a great season for this Hendrick 24 team." And for Gordon, you can't really blame him for trying to focus on the season, of course. It's been a great year for that 24 team. In a year where Hendrick as a whole has somewhat seen a lot of struggles, that 24 team has continued to shine. And Gordon, only 2 wins on the year, both coming in some interesting circumstances, what with the strategy win at Rockingham and then another strategy win at Michigan last week out. Some wonder if Jeff Gordon's season even really has any merit to it, but that 24 has had one of the most quietly consistent seasons of his career. He's one of only 3 drivers in this entire campaign who has double-digit top 5s this year, and the only 2 others that do are the 2 points leaders, DJ Kennington and Tony Stewart, with 14 and 12. Jeff Gordon's got 10 of them, and he has absolutely been one of the most competitive drivers this year, and it's any wonder that he is in the mix still, up at the top of this table in the standings, despite it being a Herculean task for him to try and get this championship from those 2. 84 car, Juan Pablo Montoya looking to the bottom for the race lead. Got help with Gordon's teammate Jimmy Johnson behind him. Montoya, his only career win coming this season. Of course, it would have to come this season given that he has only made Cup Series starts this year. But Montoya, his only win of the year coming at this very racetrack in the spring date. He's 13th in the standings coming into today's race, and having himself another good run here today as he finds himself in the lead early. Takes away the lead from that 24 of Jeff Gordon, who led a couple laps in a row there. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 right behind him, and Gordon going to start to drop to the back as he goes up top 3 wide all by himself. Top 5 single file out. You see Biffle, Wimmer, an ex-winner at this racetrack, 4th in line. Casey Mears, fellow rookie to the 84 of Montoya. In the 5th position is Johnson, going to look to the bottom for the race lead down the backstretch. Mears sticks to the bottom line with his teammate. Wimmer on the bottom behind the 48 as well. Haven't seen a lot of 3 wide action just yet. A little bit of it in the midfield, and you're starting to see that pick up just a little bit over the course of this race as that plate track shuffle continues. These guys finding their ways through the field. As Jimmy Johnson now takes the race lead, 2nd Hendrick car to lead laps in today's race. Wimmer's 23 follows him into the 2nd position, but Mears looking to maybe join his teammate up front, and he will, as he's forced up to the outside by that 55. Inside line looking a little more formed up this time. 18-17, and then the 51 of Eric Norris on the bottom. Down the front straightaway, Johnson still with the lead. Going to stay in front of his teammate, the 55 of Mears, as they head down the front stretch. You see Labonte in the 18, Kenseth in the 17 also in line. Top 5 get clear out of turn number 2, and down the backstretch you see that 13 Marcos Ambrose, who's had a couple of very good runs over the course of this year. Not a lot of them have gone his way, with a chance to make something happen on the bottom. Truex tried to take him 3 wide up the middle, and that forces the 23 and 84 up to the top of 3 wide. Meanwhile, Mears, you saw him jump to the bottom of his teammate for the lead. Trying to be the 3rd Hendrick car to lead a lap in today's race. Kenseth in the 17, going to get underneath of the 55 here. So Mears at the line, not quite going to have that lap led, as Kenseth in the 17 car steals away the lead from him on the front stretch. Couple of underdogs lined up on the bottom here. You see Eric Norris in the 51 finding his way into the 2nd position. TJ Bell in the 26, actually getting taken 3 wide by Elliott Sadler on the bottom there. Also in line behind the 13 of Ambrose, and that 06 car driven today by Boris Said, making his last scheduled start with the 06 team. Rest of the way will be piloted by David Rudiman, who recently announced that he will be piloting the brand new Junior Motorsports 28 entry in the now Busch to be next season AT&T Grand National Series over the course of next year, going back down to the second division to run some races for Junior in his brand new 28 car, making a development team that is going to be partnered up with Yates. Rudiman, a Cup rookie this year, has had a pretty solid season over the course of the year, given the equipment that he has been given over the course of the year, and has had a couple really flashy runs in that 06 car that proved to Junior that he is a worthy contender to run and continue to run under that Ford pipeline, and he will head to the 28 car next year, sponsored by the U.S. Navy. Of course, in this race, running a singular race for McGlynn Racing, partnered with Red Bull in that 07 car this week, was originally slated to be David Reagan before Red Bull gave the offer to Rudiman to complete the end of his schedule and give him a full year in the Cup Series. Would have missed this one race. Has a D&Q on the season earlier, but of course Rudiman taking this opportunity to run the full Cup season and complete his rookie campaign, and running exactly one race in this 07 car. Was originally slated to be 2, but said ended up moving one of his 06 races into the 60. That would have been last week at Michigan, where he did both of those races in the 60 car for his main team, Haas CNC. But Rudiman taking a start in the 07 this week to complete the Trinity and finish his year in the 2007 Cup Series. A lot of 3 wide in the back end of this field. You see that top lane is led by Marcos Ambrose in the GIN 13 up there. Jimmy Johnson right behind him as this field continues to sprawl in different directions. Up front, still the 83 now, as Elliott Sadler has taken away the race lead, though Scott Riggs, outside pole sitter, had a great couple qualifying efforts these last couple weeks, is going to look to his inside. Not a lot of help out back, but the 7 of Jeffrey Bodine ducks to the bottom in the Jermaine Geico machine, with the 60 of Bobby East behind him. Jeremy Mayfield's 54 in line back there as well. Riggs staying down to cover this 7. And a winner a couple weeks ago at Road Atlanta, back out front in the 57 machine as he leads a lap here on lap number 11. So now the top 3, Riggs, Bodine, and the 60 of East. You see Morgan Shepherd's 89, who was competitive in the Daytona 500, if I remember correctly. That was a long time ago, of course, but back there in the 89 machine on the bottom. Kyle Busch looked to take it 3 wide on the 00 of Jason Leffler, did not make it happen. There you see the 07 of Rudiman we were talking about earlier, starting to cut his way up through the field. And a lot of 4 wide, and a couple cars off the pace back here. Actually, looks like there was contact as damage on the 13 and the 84. Oh, yes. And it was the 20 of Harvick who went around here on the backstretch. This is going to result in a yellow flag. Caution comes out for the first time in this race as Kevin Harvick in the 20 goes for a spin on the backstretch, and we have our first incident of the race. Riggs trying to lead the field back to the yellow here. Bobby East looking to get aggressive. Riggs with a big lead out of turn 4. We're going to see if East can build up a run to try to get underneath him. He will not be able to do it. In fact, Morgan Shepherd went underneath of that 60 car to try and take away the runner-up spot, and he did just that. Caution is out for the first time in today's race as we get a look back on the incident involving Harvick, as well as Montoya, Johnson, and that 13, Marcos Ambrose, who was up top of 4 wide, and this is what started the incident here on lap number 12. Yeah, Piers Johnson was trying a little too hard to side draft that 2 of Keselowski and got into him, which forced him back up the racetrack, and Harvick went for a 360 spin through the grass on the backstretch. Damage on the 13 of Ambrose. And we are under caution for the first time in today's race. Scott Riggs, the race leader, early in the going here. Lap number 14 as we take the yellow flag. Out of turn 4, looking for the first pit stop here. Going to see the majority of the field come down pit road here. Jason Leffler in the 00 will stay out to inherit the race lead, but Riggs leads almost everybody else down pit road. And in fact, looking like Leffler in the 00 is going to be the only car to stay out on this caution flag. So, Riggs in the pits. Everybody coming in for what looks like mostly fuel only on this stop. And Riggs out of pit road easy. The 57 going to comfortably win the race off of pit road here. As everybody else back into action, looking like mostly clean pit stops here for the field. See a couple extra cars, of course, getting damage repair. 84 of Montoya, Jimmy Johnson's 48, the 13 of Ambrose gets his race car fixed up. But Jason Leffler in the 00 stays out. He will be the race leader here, providing he does not come in for a late pit stop. Taking to intermission here from Talladega, 00, Jason Leffler takes away the race lead, lap number 15. It's the EA Sports 500 on NASCAR on ESPN. Back from intermission at Talladega, and we take a look at this incident that took place on pit road involving the 55 of Mears, the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr., and then the 20 of Harvick as Jr. left pit road right in the way of the 55 of Casey Mears and took a hard hit there as Mears with a lot of damage on the front of his race car, Earnhardt Jr. with some damage as well, and Harvick, as if the spin wasn't enough, gets ran into hard in the pits here. And those guys took some damage repairs again. Earnhardt Jr. went to pit road, and Casey Mears is out of the race, and Clint Boyer had some damage as well. Looking like it was an incident after leaving the pits. Yeah, big stack up here that looks like Boyer did not get checked up for. Track, so the 00 does take away the lead. And the 00 restarts in first. Scott Riggs in second position after winning the race off of pit road from the lead at the yellow flag. Bobby East will be in the third position in the 60 as Morgan Shepherd restarts in fourth. And Jeremy Mayfield in the 54 car. He will be in the fifth position as we get set to go green. Update on your championship leaders. As Tony Stewart, a bit mired back in the pack right now, he will restart in the 33rd position, though no damage on that 42 car. And DJ Kennington, a little further up the order, will be in the 19th position on the restart as we come towards the green flag here. Lap number 18 on the restart for Jason Leffler. Leffler leading the field out of turn 4. Pace car going to peel in. 40 laps remaining. Long way to go here from Talladega. Leffler, the only car on this strategy. He was the only car that stayed out under this yellow flag, and he will be the leader here into the tri-oval as we wait for the field to make it to the restart box. Leffler and Riggs up front, waiting for the call, and there it is. Green flag is in the air, and Leffler leads the field across the line and back to the green. Good start from him, good start from Riggs. And it's the long wait to watch this field get back up to speed here. Leffler and Riggs a long way out front by themselves here. See what this 57 might want to do. Leffler's teammate is right behind this 57 car. Shepard is actually going to jump out below the 60, and here comes Scott Riggs on the bottom. It's side by side, basically by themselves out front, at least for the moment. 54 and 43, pair of teammates hooked up on the bottom as well behind Shepard as Riggs retakes the lead off of turn 4. But here comes Morgan Shepard on the bottom. And the 89 car will lead his first lap of the day. How about Morgan Shepard? Down the backstretch, see if the 43 or 54 try to jump out here. Kyle Busch is going to leave his teammate to dry. Shepard remains clear. He goes to the bottom and blocks the 43. Sadler back into the mix in the 83 as well. Packs are just a little bit split up at the moment. That may change. Kyle Busch going to go to the bottom here on the 89, and the Morgan Shepard lead party is going to come to an end right here as Busch just led that lap. It's not quite going to be consecutive laps led for Shepard, but he did get his lap led. 43 takes away the race lead as Kyle Busch moves down to the bottom. And you're seeing quite a few cars down on pace here as a 13, 20, 88, and 4 are all going to be minimum speed casualties. So 4 extra DNFs brings the field count down to 37 cars. As mentioned on the restart, quite a few split up packs here, but they should get all back together for the most part. Todd Cleaver leading this final pack, just barely trailing off of the race leading pack at the moment, as everybody in this secondary group that were split off from the leaders starting to get back up single filed out in the draft. Kyle Busch still in the lead. Jamie McMurray's number 40 car has taken away the second position as he sits behind Kyle Busch with another chance to try and pass his 43. And here comes that 40. McMurray down to the bottom. DJ Kennington, the points leader, starting to crawl his way towards the front. Found a gap to the bottom and took it. And he pulls up to McMurray. Down out of turn 4 this time. Kennington trying to find a way underneath McMurray. The 40's going to block him. McMurray trying to keep Kennington at bay for his teammate Stewart. Does not want that 81 to get any laps led bonus today. Though Stewart doesn't have any himself. Down the backstretch, Kenseth in the 17 taking a look on Kennington, but he is going to be forced up to the top by Andretti. '81 sticks in line. John Andretti's 21 car now into the mix from third place. See if he tries to make a move on this 81 out of turn 4. And he's going to give him a look, and he does get underneath that 81. You see that secondary pack back there maybe starting to drop off a little bit as Johnson Bell and Robbie Gordon have all fallen out of the draft. These cars are definitely meeting minimum speed, but Truex Montoya, Casey Kane also seem to have dropped out of the draft of this front group. It's a 28-car lead pack right now, backed up by Stewart's 42. Down the backstretch here is Andretti blowing up in front of the field. Caution is going to come out as Andretti loses a motor going for the race lead. My goodness, I've never seen anything like that. So Andretti drops an engine, McMurray, with yet another lap led in a row, is going to come around to take the lead. And it is disaster for John Andretti, as that very nearly turned into a worse incident. Took a look on McMurray down the backstretch for the race lead, and his engine almost immediately gave way. Might have been trying to breathe that thing with high engine temperature there to try and go to the bottom, and instantly that thing just came apart. Smoke came out of it, and Andretti's race comes to an early end. Drivers at the back half of the field are going to breathe a sigh of relief that they're not quite out of this race yet. We're under caution for the second time in today's race. See if our field comes down for another round of pit stops here. Would imagine that 00 of Leffler, at least, will now take his chance to top off on fuel. Might see a little more split strategy here. But we will see. McMurray leads the field out of turn 4. Pit road is open. And looking like it's going to be everybody once again. So McMurray leads everyone down pit road. Jason Leffler going to breathe a sigh of relief that he can get some extra fuel. McMurray and the field down pit road, lap number 24. And looking like two tires for the majority, though not all, of the field this time. See Kenseth, Jeff Burton took no tires. McMurray, the leader, taking 2 at minimum. No tires for Kennington. No tires for Kurt Busch. And so the 81 of Kennington is going to get his lap lead bonus anyway, as he wins the race off of pit road. Looking like some collisions further back. Get a look at exactly what happened here. Doesn't look too severe. There were at least a couple. Ooh, yeah, collision between Bobby East in the 60 and the 77 of Bodine, leaving his pit box. A minor collision between those two, but there's some further back. Oh, hard hit there for Biffle with the 18 of Bobby Labonte. So we'll see if those guys are doing okay on the damage front. But we are under caution for the second time. Field catching up, and my goodness, a lot of stacking up here that we usually see at this racetrack in the pit cycles. Make sure everybody keeps their noses clean. Looks like that'll be the case. Bit of confusion on positions leaving pit road. Everybody getting sorted out. But DJ Kennington, number 81, takes away the lead just prior to halfway in this race as the 81 sits up front. We'll take an intermission here from Talladega once again. It's the EA Sports 500 here on NASCAR and ESPN. Back from intermission here at Talladega, and we've seen more incidents on pit road. This time it was a 12 of Casey Kane, who got kind of double-teamed here, got into Kyle Busch, and then Brad Keselowski in the 2, his teammate, got straight into him. As Keselowski seemingly tried to check up to avoid it, but that actually drop-kicked Kane into the back of Robbie Gordon's 31. So Kane has retired from this race. Robbie Gordon with a lot of damage on the back of his race car, did not come in for extra service as far as I'm aware. So we come to the restart here. DJ Kennington in the 81 car, winning the race off of pit road, has taken away the lead. And he will restart as the race leader. Matt Kenseth in the 17 in the second position. Jeff Burton in the 8 is third. Kurt Busch will restart in the 4th spot, and Ryan Newman in the 38 will be in 5th place, as it'll be 30 laps remaining on the restart. Just a couple laps will hit that halfway mark here today. Wildcard race continuing here in the middle of this championship hunt. DJ Kennington in that 81 machine, championship leader, grabbing the laps led. As mentioned earlier, despite the fact that he was the pole sitter today, Stewart has yet to lead a lap in this race and is still mired pretty far back in the pack. Sitting in the 24th position is Stewart. Coming to the restart, DJ Kennington, 81 car, race leader here into the tri-oval, as Kenseth sits right behind him. Waiting for the call on the start here as we take the long drive to the restart box, and coming to it, green flag is in the air. And Matt Kenseth, a huge jump on the restart, trying to take it to the outside on the 81 of Kennington. And the two leaders side by side off into turn number 1. Keselowski in the 2 with a ton of damage back there, looking like he knocked something out on his engine on that incident with his teammate Kane, so it was a Penske clean out. Everybody's going to find a way to get around him, although Johnson really playing it aggressive and got into his corner. But the 2 of Keselowski is also going to be a casualty in this race. Meanwhile, up front, Kenseth wasn't able to complete the move, but Jeff Burton in the 8 found the way to the bottom underneath that 81. He takes the lead, but Ryan Newman in the 38 is going to jump to his inside, looking to be 4 separate leaders in a single lap. Only one of them can have the lead at the line, and Ryan Newman leads that lap. About 10 cars, in fact it is exactly 10 cars that have broken away off the restart. Secondary pack led by Bobby Labonte's number 18. David Rudiman and Jason Leffler following behind him as they get racy behind. Maybe 15, closer to 20 cars in that second pack. Johnson out of the draft. Cleaver and Atwood looking like they might fall out of it as well. Newman and McMurray up front. McMurray, who had led a handful of laps in a row, coming up to the yellow flag. Todd Bodine, Daytona winner last year in the Firecracker 400, finds his way towards the front of the field here. Kurt Busch, a member of this front group. Secondary pack starting to go single file, trying to catch up to the race leaders. Rudiman in the lead of this pack, followed by Eric Norris in the 51. You see a couple drivers with some better equipment trying to make some moves. Ricky Hendrick helping Norris underneath of Rudiman. Those guys really not working together a whole lot back there at the moment. But the front pack is definitely not working together as they race for the race lead. Halfway in this race, Jamie McMurray back out front right now, but Elliott Sadler has ducked underneath of him, and he has a ton of draft help compared to not much for the 40 up top, and Elliott Sadler now out in the race lead. Ricky Hendrick has taken the lead of the secondary pack at 11th. Sadler, Wimmer, Biffle, the top 3 out of turn 2. Kurt Busch, Daytona 500 winner this year, getting aggressive on the bottom. Burton trying to figure out which way to go. Hard to say if this field is good on fuel from this point forward. It's going to be tight, but I would imagine they're probably pretty close. Sadler up front. Gonna hold off Wimmer for another consecutive lap. The top 3 have broken away just a little bit as they single file out. Wimmer and Kurt Busch, 2 Dodges in line. Second pack still not really doing a whole lot to catch up right now. They're slowly getting there, but they still got some room to make up. And you see a tertiary pack further back led by Bobby East. These guys just barely holding on to the draft of the secondary group at the current moment. Made of some of the further back field members. You see Bobby Labonte in the 18. Also has dropped off of this lead group. So a couple of cars with some minor damage, not enough to be flagged for minimum speed, are out of the draft. Jimmy Johnson, the 48. Todd Cleaver does have a little bit of a dent on the front of his race car. He sits in 33rd out of the draft, and Bobby Labonte in the 18 is a little bit slower than the both of them, also with some damage. And Jeffrey Bodine also has a little bit of a dent on the front of his race car, and he also is out of the front group. Tony Stewart now in the lead of this secondary pack, doing the best he can to try to catch up to the leaders. It's still Sadler in the lead. Kennington has found his way back to the second spot underneath of Matt Kenseth, as these two race up front. Sadler, Kennington, Bodine, Kenseth, all up front right now. This secondary pack still not quite organized to catch all the way up yet. They've still been running a couple tenths of a second a lap faster on occasion, but it is pretty close here. But they are starting to get closer. You can tell that gap visually is closer between these top groups. But Elliott Sadler still in the race lead. Kennington already having led a couple laps, trying to find his way back into that race lead, maybe try and take away most laps led as well down the back stretch, and he's going to go for the race lead. Biffle and Wimmer to the bottom. Kennington takes away the top spot. And as this race continues to wind away, we're approaching 20 to go. That second pack dropped off on the restart has really started to get within striking range of the race leaders and should be back in the conversation for the lead very, very soon. Truex, Leffler, Stewart all leading this group. Riggs, who is led today, also a member of this front group right now. Montoya, spring race winner, also in this top 5 of this secondary pack, which is kind of split apart a little bit. Once again, you see this second group, Bobby East, Atwood, and Ron Hornaday Jr. starting to fall out of the main draft. Boris Said struggling to hang tight. Yaley, a little bit of a struggle. Carl Edwards, Morgan Shepherd, who aren't quite in this mix up front. But now, the two main packs have formed back up together, and the race lead is now between more like 25 cars instead of the earlier 10. Side by side up front, as Scott Wimmer, familiar plate race leader, the 23, has retaken the race lead. Newman trying to sneak under him. All three main championship contenders, Gordon, Stewart, and Kennington, all still have perfectly clean race cars in this event. All of them with a shot to win it. Newman tried to block McMurray. These two have dueled quite a lot for this race lead over the last 10-15 laps. Newman had the lead at the stripe, but McMurray is going to inherit first on that bottom line. And the 40 retakes first. Kenseth right behind him. Truex Jr., who was leading that second pack when they finally made it up to the leaders, is now second in line as Kenseth is going to jump underneath of this 40 car down the backstretch. Truex thinking about taking him 3 wide, but going to be patient. Out of 4. Kenseth now out to the race lead. Truex giving him another look, and he's going to jump to the bottom. Had to give a big block to Jason Leffler's 00. 20 laps to go is the count from Talladega as Truex Jr. takes the lead this time. Leffler right behind the 28. Riggs, who has already led a couple of laps today, in 3rd. Stewart trying to even the playing field with Kennington in the laps led count. hasn't led a lap despite being the pole sitter. He moves into line on the bottom as well. Riggs trying to get underneath a Leffler, who throws a huge block on that 57 to get underneath the Truex into turn 3. Almost got ran over by that 57. But Leffler takes away the lead from Martin Truex Jr. Riggs moves into that second spot. Stewart still looking for that lap lead. He's third. Kyle Busch in the 43, a fellow Dodge behind that 42 car. He is in fourth. And Eric Norris now rounds out the top 5 as we leave turn 2. Stewart looking for an opportunity to get down, and he's going to take it. Riggs throws a massive block on the 42. And they look like they might be 3 wide going into turn 3, but Riggs clears him. What a block by that 57 car. And these guys are getting aggressive late in today's race. Almost turned himself with that move. Stewart trying to take away the lead from him. Not too happy with that block. Got help from Eric Norris, and here he comes, and Tony Stewart is going to grab the lap lead he was looking for. "23 cars are in the lead pack right now, back to TJ Bell's 26. Double file all the way through as we head down the backstretch. Robbie Gordon gonna get forced up to the top side. Never mind. Cleared the 24 going towards turn 3. He looks for second place despite the damage on the back of his race car from an earlier incident on pit road. Johnson starting to close up on being lapped here. Handful more lap cars. Labonte, Cleaver, and Bodine. Johnson is meeting minimum speed. So none of these cars are going to be able to get pulled off the racetrack, as up front, Jeff and Robbie Gordon side by side. And issues for the 07, and big issues in the pack as they all got checked up by the car blowing up, and that is going to bring out our third yellow flag of the race as Rudiman down a piston. It is all 3 of the championship leaders up front, plus the 54 of Jeremy Mayfield out of turn 4. Coming back to the caution flag, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart side by side down to the stripe, and the 24 of Gordon is going to steal the lead at the yellow flag. Under caution for the 3rd time in today's races. There you saw the 07 of Rudiman with engine trouble, having a pretty solid race today. Yeah, had a piston go down there. Got a big shove there from the 77 of Todd Bodine as his engine went out. Very nearly could have been a big accident. That one was even more sketchy than the 21 of John Andretti. So Rudiman is going to be retirement from today's race. Collisions back here. I think McMurray just got into the back of Kyle Busch. He did. Damage on the 40 car, who was pretty competitive today. See, if any of these guys come in to top off on fuel, the question is going to be if these guys were going to make it or not. It was pretty close on fuel. I would imagine they were tight. Might have had a shot. But we are going to see now if these guys are going to come in for one final pit stop. And if all of the championship leaders, who are now 1st, 2nd, and 4th, are going to get a clean pit stop if that's the case. And they will not. So we'll take you to intermission here from Talladega. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, winner last time out at Michigan. He finds himself back into the lead late. We'll be closing in on 10 to go when we go green. It's the EA Sports 500 here on NASCAR and ESPN. Back from intermission here at Talladega as we get set to go green. Jeff Gordon, number 24, takes away the lead, taking that yellow flag, and he will restart in the first position. Second place, Tony Stewart, chasing DJ Kennington in this year's championship as well. He is going to be second. Jeremy Mayfield in the 54 will be in third. Aforementioned points leader Kennington in fourth. And Eric Norris in the 51 car is going to round out the top 5. Going to keep an eye on that 40 of McMurray with damage sustained under that yellow flag. Could split this pack up and leave it up to maybe just the top 9 as Leffler, Robbie Gordon, Truex Jr., and Kyle Busch are also in front of him. And McMurray rounds out the top 10. It'll be just 12 laps to go on the restart here for the 24 of Jeff Gordon as he leads the field to the restart here. Pace car in on the left. And now it's the long haul down to the restart box. Gordon, Stewart, Mayfield, Kennington, Norris headed out of the tri-oval here and towards the box. See if Stewart pulls a similar move to Kenseth on that last restart, trying to go to the outside, and he does. Green flag is in the air. Another great start from the second place car as Tony Stewart is going to try to go to the outside here on the restart. He's got the nose ahead going into turn 1, side by side for the lead, but all of the rest of this top 4 are going to go to the bottom.
Yeah, they know that bottom is exactly where you want to be on the long run, and at this point in the race with 12 laps to go, coming to 11 and a half laps to go, this is the time of the race where you want to start putting yourself in position on that bottom lane, because if you get shuffled back, it's going to be very, very hard to make your way back up in 11 laps. It's doable, but it's not preferable. And as we see Eric Norris, Robbie Gordon move up to that high side, as Jason Leffler gets to exactly where he wants to be.
Leffler in the double zero took it 3 wide on the bottom there and already getting aggressive for second place. Side by side behind Jeff Gordon, the leader, is Leffler monster run. Truex with him. 11 to go is the count now as both Stewart and Kennington ending up on the back foot thanks to Leffler getting aggressive early.
Mayfield, Norris, Kennington slipping back. Stewart slipping back as well. Man, those two title contenders just cannot get away from each other as Martin Truex joins this battle. Jason Leffler to the inside for the lead. What a restart for this Haas CNC driver.
Leffler out of the cannon on the restart, made up maybe 8 positions or so in just a couple of laps, and now underneath of the 24 for the lead. He's going to take that top spot. Kyle Busch tried to get under him. Leffler throws the block. Robbie Gordon, bottom of 3 wide for second place. 10 to go from the EA Sports 500.
It's going to be hard for Leffler to hang on for 10 laps, but he's doing a great job right now. He's going to throw that block on Robbie Gordon. We see Kenseth behind. We've talked about his winless drought so many times. What a story it would be for him to get back to victory lane. Wimmer tries to make the move on him with help from Ricky Hendrick. As Kenseth says, not so fast, he goes to the bottom.
Forces Hendrick to leave the 23. Robbie Gordon up to the top. Still Leffler leading in turn 3. Coming to 9 to go this time as everybody up to speed. Kenseth up to the back bumper of the double zero. See if he's got anything for this Dr. Pepper double zero. No, Ricky Hendrick for second place. Leffler going to lead another lap in a row as everybody back in this mix. Handful of cars still off the pace. 18 car without a partner is going to be out of the race here today as he will retire. Leffler leading out of turn 2. Riggs already led some laps today, trying to take second from Ricky Hendrick. It's been the battle for P2 behind this double zero. See if Ricky Hendrick can stay clear going into turn 3, and he does just that. So the top 2 stays the same as they head through turns 3 and 4. Riggs, Todd Bodine, ex-plate winner, Jeff Burton 5th, as Tony Stewart was the first of the championship leaders to find his way back down to the bottom, and he sits 6th in line on the inside.
You know, there's some drivers up here that have seen some success on this type of racing. As you said, Todd Bodine, ex-plate winner at Daytona last season. We see Scott Riggs up here pretty consistently at these types of races. He won that Road Atlanta race, has some momentum going for him. Ricky Hendrick, it's been a miserable season for him so far. What a story it would be for him to get back to victory lane. Jeff Burton makes that move on top O'Dine for that 4th spot. A great story it would be for him to go to victory lane. We see Juan Montoya, who I believe won the first race here this season. If he were to sweep Talladega, I can't even think of the last time that happened.
Down the front straightaway, Montoya tried to make a move on Burton, got blocked. JJ Yaley, Morgan Shepherd in line. We mentioned earlier that 89 has already led a lap in today's race. Leffler, a handful of laps led in a row, had a competitive qualifying, now trying to find his way up front and hold everybody off for an unprecedented amount of laps. Single file for about 10 cars on back. Down the back stretch here, Jeff Burton is going to go underneath of Scott Riggs, trying to cut his way up through the field. Does Hendrick have anything for the 00? Doesn't look like he's going to. Leffler still in the lead going into turn 3. Riggs stayed in front of the 8.
Leffler doing a great job just making that car wide, keeping it on the bottom, making sure these guys can't get underneath him. Nobody's been able to mount a charge yet. It'd be really, really difficult to hold these guys off for as long as he would have to win this race, but that 00 looks like it's got some serious speed in it.
Into turn 1, he's still got the lead. Down out of turn 2 and onto the backstretch once again. Single file back to about 6th or 7th, still up front. Leffler continuing to lead. Hendrick a bit of a run this time. Riggs is forced high. Let's see if Hendrick tries to go to the bottom. It looks like he's still not going to be able to, as they are almost and are 3 wide for 3rd.
Eric Norris down to the bottom to go. It's Sadler as Riggs is going to slip back. Starting to see some names up here up front that would create tremendous stories if they were to win this race. And you think about Talladega and the winners that it has produced in the past. Cinderella's glass slipper for some of these guys, including our race leader, who has 5 laps between him and victory.
Leffler, Hendrick, Sadler, Norris, and Truex, the top 5 as they leave turn 2. Down the back straightaway as Elliott Sadler is going to move to the bottom lane to try and take away 2nd from Ricky Hendrick, who has been unable to mount that charge on Leffler. Could it maybe be the 83 who finds a way past him? Truex with him. Edwards in the 19, who I don't think I've talked about a single time here today. He moves into the 4th spot.
Got Yaley down there on that bottom lane, 5th in line. Mayfield, 6th in line. Lots of names that have not won this season, but the one trying to chase down Leffler for the lead, the only winner in the top 5.
Sadler up to the back bumper of the 00. Now 4 laps to go. Leffler really just putting on a show up front right now, but he's running out of time, trying to hold on, and he's got a much better car behind him now. Sadler, who's looked competitive today, he's got to run down the backstretch, and here comes Elliott Sadler to try to steal the lead from the 00.
Elliott's going to take a look, but Truex went with the 00. We'll see if Sadler's there. He is, and Yaley takes it 3 wide.
Edwards tried to throw a block on the 10, couldn't do it. Yaley looking to take 2nd. Montoya following on the bottom to try to get up to his teammate. It'll be just 3 laps to go, and here comes JJ Yaley on the bottom. Sadler manages to block him.
The rookie for the lead couldn't quite get there. You know Montoya's going to want to try to shuffle him out to try to get with his teammate here. Yaley looking for this win, but it's all behind Elliott Sadler, who stole that win in Michigan in broad daylight under fuel mileage, looking to win this race, and Montoya is going to shuffle out Yaley.
Down the back stretch, Montoya almost getting taken 3 wide by the 30 of Atwood. Might allow Yaley to stay clear. He did. 10 stays in 2nd place. Here they come through turns 3 and 4. It'll be 2 laps to go at the line. Yaley trying to mount a run on this 83.
It's just going to be hard to do with a teammate of Elliott Sadler behind you. He's not going to want to give you that push and give you that run. But Yaley trying to mount a charge to put a victory on what has been an impressive rookie season for that young driver. Can he mount a charge here on the back straightaway? Right now, it's all Elliott Sadler up front.
Sadler with the lead as they leave turn 2. A lap and a half left to go. Yaley looking for something, anything, down the backstretch. But it's going to be Montoya jumping to the bottom, trying to help out his teammate out front. DJ Kennington has found his way into the mix late as well. 2 Red Bull cars are going to have first and second coming to the white flag.
It'll be interesting to see if Montoya tries to make that move for the win. It all happens behind Sadler right now. Is Kennington going to take a look for second? Can DJ Kennington do anything for this win?
Trying to split apart the Red Bull cars. Last lap at Talladega. Does the 81 or somebody else have anything for Elliott Sadler? Down into turn 1 as we start the final lap. Kenseth is on the back bumper of this 81 as well. Ricky Hendrick behind him. Leffler is in the mix as well. Down the back stretch for the final time as DJ Kennington up to the back bumper, and he's going to go to the bottom for the race lead. Hendrick down low in the 5. Here they go into turn 3 for the final time. Does Ricky Hendrick have anything for Kennington? Got one of the better cars in the race right behind him. The points leader's got the lead out of 4. Can Ricky Hendrick get underneath of him? He cannot. DJ Kennington. Unstoppable season continues as he steals the win here today.
And a win that he desperately needed. We see Stewart back further in the pack around 20th place. That was the race that DJ Kennington saw his chance to widen that points gap, and what a job he did, taking that lead on the back straightaway and holding those guys off to the checkered flag. DJ Kennington demands a show in Talladega.
81 car, your winner, positively steals it from the Red Bull cars at the very end of that race. And Kennington, in a race that we always talk about being a wild card, it wasn't for him. 7 wins on the year for the 81 car, and he captures a win in one of the most important races in this championship hunt. 81 car is your winner here today. And you get a look at that move. It was out of turn, I'd say this turn 4 move coming to the white flag that really won him this race here, where he split up the Red Bull cars, caught Montoya napping a little bit. The 84 tried to block him but didn't block enough. Kennington went down to the bottom, had good help in the 5 and the 17 right behind him, made the run out of turn 2, and Sadler just really didn't have enough time to defend him there. He thought Ricky Hendrick might have a chance to get underneath of him coming out of turn 4 as well, and it was right here where Kennington went to the bottom of Elliott Sadler to take away the lead in turns 3 and 4. And there went Ricky Hendrick on the bottom. He tried to maybe make a move, although I believe he got taken 3 wide here coming out of turn 4 to the checkered flag. He had a shot, had that run, but it was Leffler who got aggressive like he had been earlier in the race, and Hendrick didn't have the chance to go to the bottom. He managed to stay in front of him, but Kennington, 7 wins on the year and adds a plate win to that book. So he takes a checkered flag here today.
Just a very important win for DJ Kennington, and one that could end up being a turning point in this championship to give him a little bit of a buffer to mess up. But what a race here today. Thought that maybe Ricky Hendrick had a chance there if Leffler didn't try to go 3 wide, but at the end of the day, the man who has been inevitable all season long will spoil the party of the first-time brigade and take it to victory lane once more.
Kennington, your winner here today after another thriller of a race at Talladega. Next week, it is still another wild card, a chaotic race usually. The FedEx 400 from Dover will be next week, race number 30. But on behalf of Nate joining me for the latter half of this race here tonight, I've been your host, Caden Reif. It's been a pleasure to have you along as always, and we'll see you next time, and have yourself a good one.